G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the NRL Round 2 Rehash, where we're going to be speaking about all things rugby league in round number 2. This is the current top 4. We'll see this change throughout the year. Raiders, Cowboys, Sharks and Manly, all with 2 from 2 to start the season. Let's break down all 8 games of footy and speak about the winners and losers in round number 2. At Suncorp Stadium, we saw the Brisbane Broncos hold off the South Sydney Rabbitohs 28 points to 18. And look, we had lots of errors in this game from both of these teams. We had very poor completion rates, but I think the Broncos defensively and their X factor starting to stand up within that second half. They had a decent lead going into the half against the Rabbitohs of 12-0 half-time, and the Rabbitohs kind of hit back straight after half-time to turn the game around. At the end of the game, Latrell Mitchell scored his 100th try in the NRL, so a big congratulations to him. Reece Walsh scored 2 tries, 1 phenomenal try. Dean Mariner also scoring a double, and the Broncos get their season started 28-18. Very close to picking the score there. I did go with 26 to 18. Now, I didn't get to watch the Sharks and Bulldogs games, and I didn't actually watch the highlights before filming this, but the next game was the Penrith Panthers taking on the Parramatta Eels. I did go the Eels here, but I did say this would be tough, and I could see the Panthers bouncing back. And Parramatta got off to a great start with the try from Joey Lussick, took the halftime lead as well, 18-16, with a try to Jermaine Hopgood before being kept quiet in the second half. I don't care what you say, lives in my head rent-free, absolutely. But this man should have been sin-bin. 2 convictions, one on Bailey Simonson, which has stood him down for 10 days, which is ridiculous. And then the trip on Mitchell Moses, which I didn't think was as bad as the high shot. And I know that there was a sin-bin for a pretty similar offence on Britton Nakora in the Sharks game. So the consistency is absolutely ridiculous. As to Parramatta, in the second half, I thought defensively they were very poor. I thought they defended well in the middle, though. I thought that their middles ran over us in the first half and were getting great meters, as well as the second half. But I thought Penrith definitely should have scored more points in the second half and even in the first half. So I'm pretty proud of the effort considering the amount of injuries Parramatta had. But yeah, they were well and truly out of that game when Kelma Taulagi was moved into the centres. It was all Morgan Harper on the wing. I think he's a much better centre than winger. And there's a few players that didn't step up. But I did think Jermaine Hopgood, Bryce Cartwright, Clint Gutherson were great. As for the Panthers, I thought Isaac Tuggo was outstanding. Isaiah Yeo was good as well. And I think Dylan Edwards was probably another one as well. How the hell did I forget to mention Moses Leota? Well, I could go on forever about that Panthers-Eels game, but I'm not going to. I'll save it for the Talking Para podcast. But next up, I stupidly tipped the West Tigers. I don't know what I was thinking. And, they got back into the game at 14 points to 12. But then the Raiders started to blow away. Danny Levi scoring first in back-to-back game. Ethan Strange scoring a great try and getting very involved. Zach Hosking looking like a great buy for the Canberra Raiders. And, they're currently top of the table, man. So it's a long season ahead, but we'll see if the Raiders can keep it going. It's their first time at the top of the table in 16 years. So been a long time for the Raiders. As for the Tigers, Coruscant was trying his best. Jareen Buller was okay. There was not really a shining light for mine at the Tigers, and I didn't think that Fatape was ready for first grade from what I saw of him in that game. Jaden Sullivan was awful. Probably the right decision there being hooked. And I think Lockie Galvin was actually really good in his NRL debut. But yeah, the Raiders, 2 from 2, good win at home. Now they take it over to New Zealand for a tough game. Next up in Townsville, we headed to our first Golden Point game of the season, and the Cowboys sink the Knights 21-20. Props to Adam Elliott in a losing side, scoring a double. He was fantastic. And honestly, probably the best lock of the round overall. Chad Townsend scoring a try and kicking the match-winning field goal was a great moment for him. The Knights headed to the Sheds with a 12-0 lead, which they'll be really disappointed with. They definitely need players to step up. Jackson Hastings was quiet. Kalen Ponga was involved, but still quiet, besides goal kicking, according to the NRL, putting up their little highlights package. Kai Pearce-Paul was fantastic. I thought he was really, really good in this game. Nanai was good as well for the Cowboys. And I thought Zach Labart was a little bit quiet in this one. I thought Holmes was that star centre. But yeah, the Cowboys picking up the win, 21 points to 20, getting a great start to their season. But I did think in moments that they looked very, very poor. I've got absolutely no words for what we saw on Saturday night. This was the best game in a long time. This was such an entertaining game where the Melbourne Storm took it to the Warriors 18-6 at halftime, and the Warriors fought hard. They're a different side. We saw it last year against Cronulla. This time, unfortunately, they weren't able to hold on. A 26-18 lead with 3 minutes to go, and the Melbourne Storm somehow come back to win 30-26. Xavier Coates scoring in the final seconds the best try in the NRL I've ever seen, and that is not an overstatement, an over-exaggeration. This was unbelievable. Go and watch it, especially in slow-mo. It is so, so close, but such a fantastic try. Some great signs for the Melbourne Storm, 7 line breaks to 4 and 33 tackle breaks to 28. The offloads went the way of the Warriors, and they were throwing the ball around looking dangerous, and they will beat some teams. Even though they have, at the moment, lost their first 2 games, they look like a very good team. The error count was very low as well. Melbourne Storm 6, the Warriors 8 for this one. Jerome Hughes looking to serve a suspension when the referee was in the way of a try-scoring opportunity. But yeah, very entertaining game. Very unlucky for the Warriors. Thought they scored a lot of points against Melbourne and played very, very well. But this was one of the best games I've watched in a long time. I loved it from start to finish. A sold-out Brookvale Oval welcomed their new players for their first match at home, and Manly Seagull beating the Roosters 21 points to 14. Manly look good, man. Really, really good. They've got lots of depth within their side. They are picking up a few injuries, Tommy Talau and Ola Kalatu, which is a little bit worrying, but Travojevic playing well. This man, Luke Brooks, absolutely killing it, splitting the Roosters open, getting very involved, and a good kicking game as well. I thought Luke Brooks was absolutely outstanding and probably absolutely my man of the match. Tanila Paseka running hard in this one against the Roosters. Thought Sua Wong was really poor for the Roosters, and I expect him to play a little bit better and brush off that kind of bad game. Still learning a bit of first grade there for Sua Wong. Their bench was good. Nathan Brown once again, Carl Lawton. I thought that the Roosters were out-muscled. I thought the Roosters have a better forward pack on paper, and as good as, Lindsay Collins, Terrell May and Radley are, I thought they were beaten by the Manly forward pack, and the outside backs just scoring the points for Manly. Cherry Evans with the field goal to seal the game, his 27th field goal of his career. Manly get the upset, and Brooks gets some Dally M points here, I'm sure. We'll call the police because there's been a murder, and the murder is on the St. George Illawarra Dragons. The Dolphins running riot, their new recruits starring. I thought Jake Averillo was getting involved. He was quite early on, but started to get involved in the second half. I thought Herbie Farnworth was outstanding, and he could have been my man of the match, but I'm giving it to the Hammer. His stats were incredible. While I get his stats up, I want to mention the Falcon. There's so many funny moments throughout the game, and Jeremy Marshall-King to have that Falcon that led to a HIA and then score a try late in the game as well was such a funny moment. But I can't at the moment get up the stats, but Hammer, here it is here, obviously played the 80 minutes, scored a hat-trick. He had 6 tackle breaks for the game, 204 metres, 1 line break, so 4 tackle breaks, no errors in the game, 23 passes, 4 tackles. Yeah, massive game there. These are some massive stats from the Hammer. I thought he was fantastic, and he was my man of the match. A close second would have to be Herbie Farnworth. He looked really, really comfortable at home. Marshall King laying the platform. Josh Kerr running from the bench, off the bench as well against his former side. But yeah, 38-0. No one expected this. Even if you thought the Dolphins, had a poor performance, they weren't expected to win by this type of margin, but it was a great win at home, and this could be the start of something special if they do roll on from it after the bye. Well, let's see how much this bottom four changes in the next week for round number 3. We have some great matchups. We've got the grand final rematch, the Panthers and the Broncos. Friday night, we get the Roosters and the Rabbitohs, the oldest rivalry in rugby league. And then on Sunday, the rivalry between the Parramatta Eels and the Manly Sea Eagles continues at CommBank Stadium. Guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, let me know your moment of the round, let me know who disappointed you, who is your dark horse 2 rounds in, and I'll see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed this video.